So we're back to that knucklehead again. Well, I'm Kyle and welcome to the channel. And again, we're going to go back to the NBA tanking because it seems like people want to hear about that because it makes them just feel good. It makes me feel good. Anytime I hear that the NBA, the league full of these overgrown, overpaid crybabies, woke wannabe Jordans who can't be Jordan because they are horrible human beings by and large. And I point that directly at LeBron James because he's the mouthpiece for most of them. And I can say that very easily because of what they're doing in the community where people are losing their lives and acting a fool because of the false narratives that many of these players are doing. And NBA ratings continue to tank. This article is from the Daily Caller. The author is David Hookstead. So we're gonna go over this and we're gonna go over this briefly. It won't be a long video, but I just wanna bring it to your attention and make you feel even more encouraged that the NBA continues to tank. I'm not even sure how further it can go, considering what we've seen so far. That was before, that clip I did before was from April. It was already at an all-time low, and let's hear what we have to say here. The TV ratings for the NBA continue to be in the gutter, with the regular season nearing a close. Woohoo! All right, that's great news already. First sentence is awesome. According to Sports Business Journal, NBA games broadcast on ESPN, ABC, and TNT average only 1.4 million viewers. I know a lot of YouTube channels that get way more than that. That's a staggering 13% decline from last season when the numbers were already slipping in a huge way. And so the NBA Finals for the last season had a record low TV ratings as LeBron James and the Lakers beat the Heat for the title. According to Outkick, games on ABC last season averaged a record low 2.95 million viewers, and the final numbers for this season are expected to be even worse. Look, this is incredibly disastrous. If you look at what happened with the guy from ESPN, Maine, I forget his first name, it escapes me right now. He was let go because, in his terms, it was salary cuts. So it seems like ESPN is having an issue with keeping people there at ESPN. Seems like they tried to lowball him and he decided to leave. And so the point of me saying that is this: look, there's no money to be had like there was before. Jordan, Barkley, Bird, Malone, Stockton, all those players from the 90s and the 80s built this league. Magic Johnson, can't forget him, Kareem. You know, these players who played the game, and regardless of their political views, because you know Kareem had his own political views, but he just dribbled and he played. And that's how you want to do it, okay? People don't want to hear about your politics. They want to hear you dribble the ball, and they want to see you shoot the ball and occasionally pass the ball. And they want to see an entertaining game. They spend their money, their time, the effort to get to the stadium, whatever it is, to pay the subscription. They want to sit down and enjoy what you do, your God-given talent and abilities to put a ball into a basket. That's all you have to do. No one cares about your opinions about anything. They don't. We don't. And we're sick of it, even worse, being told how we need to feel because we, for some reason, aren't as enlightened as you are. And then on top of that, we definitely don't want to hear you talk about things that are absolutely untrue, which we're going to get into a little bit later. And the last straw for me and for many, many others is when you have people act off those narratives and then people lose their lives. And then we have cops being incriminated, doxxed, put out there to be whatever dealt with in the media because you've exposed their family to threats. That is unfathomable. And we did something earlier yesterday on Colin Kaepernick and Tim Tebow and all that. And that plays in it as well, because you have this gentleman who is putting forth these narratives that are absolutely fake, that we've pretty much proved countless times on this channel, and many people on their channels and in other conservative outlets have proven it, that cops are not being actively targeting black people on the street in a systemic racist fashion. It just is not happening. When you have people like Colin Kaepernick, he incites it. People like LeBron James, who can't think for himself, who is a total NPC, non-playable character, who is just a drone, and who doesn't have any intelligence whatsoever to even think of that could possibly be different. So we have here the Daily Caller TV ratings for the second game of the NBA Finals absolutely tank. The numbers are embarrassing for the league. And if you're in NBA league leadership, you have to be panicking right now because everyone thought last year would be an outlier. They thought that last year would be just a blip because, it's COVID and it's new and whatever, but they just don't get it. These people at the top, these woke people at the top who listen to the blue check Twitter brigade and think that that's reality, that's what the problem is, okay? They're listening to this 30% wacko left, and even less of a percentage than that are yelling on Twitter, and they get the impression that this is what people want, and they put forth their agenda, and they go broke. It is really as simple as that, people. And so here we have this here. David Hookstead posted here. This is the woman in the video with the knife in her hand, was shot and killed by a cop. LeBron James, who defends China at all costs, wants that police officer in prison. Society is getting insane. Should the cop have just watched the potential murder unfold? Did a couple videos on this as well, showing that very same clip right there with the knife in hand. They tried to lie when it first came out, saying that she had dropped the knife before she got shot and all of that. But the cop camera proved that claim to be wrong and was totally exonerated. Again, never mind the fact that that father kicked the living mess out of that person on the ground. No one cares about that. We haven't yet to hear from the person, at least I haven't heard yet from the person who was saved by the cop. All we heard was the mother of the person who was killed. Obviously, no one wants that to happen, but what was the cop supposed to do? And then this knucklehead goes ahead and doxes him, puts him exposed to the public. His family was threatened, I understand, and it's just a nightmare. You had the bar in Ohio that went ahead and said, we're not going to do anything with the NBA showing their games until he leaves the league or is kicked out or suspended or quits or retires or whatever. And so, as far as the ratings are concerned, they're also horrendous. We mentioned that before. They tanked with LeBron James being injured. And so we know that would be the case because he's the only person that really is the focus of the league right now. And then the Baylor game, which was interesting, the national championship game between Baylor and Gonzaga. It was a blowout, but yet it was still a highly rated game. To hear that, according to the Hollywood Reporter, the Bears beating the Bulldogs in the national championship game averaged 16.92 million viewers on CBS. While the viewership was down 14% from the title game in 2019, it was the most watched basketball game since the final matchup of the 2019 NBA Finals. This shows that basketball is still very popular in this country. And what I find interesting is that even though we've been locked up, locked away with limited sports, they still don't want to watch the NBA. We're finding other things to do, which is really, really interesting. It's because I think the people in leadership in the NBA and other places just think, look, the community, they have to come to us because they have nothing to do. If they're locked in, what else are they going to watch? Well, people find something else to watch or they just tune it out. Again, like I said, spend time with their families. They find other interests. They get hobbies. They just don't want to tune in because the pain of watching this crap on TV isn't worth it. And especially putting your money into it, it's just a non-starter for most people in this country now. And it's getting to the point now where they're going to lose all credibility whatsoever as a sport, and they're going to go below the lowest tier of sports, which I thought the NBA never would have. They have totally squandered all the goodwill that the legends of the past from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they've just totally squandered all that effort, all that goodwill. All that goodwill is gone. And all that capital is gone. And it's going to take a heck of a lot to bring it back. I don't know what they can do. What do you think about that? What do you think about the NBA's ratings continually to tank even further than they were back in April? The season's coming to an end. Are you excited about it? Or would you like to stick around more so you can see the ratings just tank even further so you can get more and more giddy as that happens? Let me know in the comments below. I'd be curious to know what you think. And if you like what we do in this channel, we take pop culture and politics and filter it to you in a conservative manner. In other words, filtering it to you right. Then please click the like and subscribe button and that bell icon so you don't miss any future content. Also hit that join button so you can find out how to support this channel if you'd like to. And by all means, please check out some content that we have right here.